So earlier in the stream, one of you was asking about Star Wars Outlaws because you finished watching The Acolyte and it left you horribly sad and in need of a hug. Well, just this morning, like 2 hours ago, we got 10 more minutes of exclusive gameplay for Star Wars Outlaws. Stuff that I've not seen before. I don't think anybody's ever seen before. I've not played this. I have no experience with it. So this is going to be fresh for everybody. But it's apparently fresh gameplay. I think on Tatooine, maybe?
Outlaws. We'll be diving deep into Massive Entertainment's open world adventure into a galaxy far, far away throughout July, with new behind the scenes looks and features. We've already explored how Massive brought the cinematic spectacle of Star Wars into an open galaxy setting, and now we're thrilled to bring you a full mission of exclusive gameplay. Taking place on the classic desert planet of Tatooine, this expert mission takes Kate on a journey involving a Jawa and a Sarlacc pit as she journeys from the sand to the stars. Enjoy.
Okay. Some fresh gameplay. Now, full disclosure, I have played this. I played it at Summer Game Fest. And I've not played anything on Tatooine. I've not seen any of this gameplay, but I have experience with the game directly.
Hey, I heard you could put a turret on my ship. I'm sorry?
Dude, I just realized how much the minions sound like that. Dude, it's uncanny. Close your eyes. It's the minions.
A turret on my ship.
Close it. The banana.
I'm sorry?
She said she'll put a turret anywhere if you give her a tooth. Forgive the intrusion, but I sensed you needed an interpreter.
Oh, thanks, but I'm not giving her a tooth.
No, not your tooth. A Sarlacc tooth. One from its second mouth.
Second mouth. Oh, you won't take credits?
She says if you won't pay for breakfast, you can eat sand for free. A Jawa proverb.
No, I get it. I'll get the tooth. But that turret better be good.
Yeah, to be clear, I am not saying George Lucas took inspiration from the Minions. Timeline's important here. Okay? Minions came after. A good bit after.
You have a deal? How exciting. You know, this reminds me of my time negotiating with the Trade Federal.
Hey, Andy, you know where I can get a Sarlacc tooth?
Sarlacc. And you need to find its pit. I'd start in the Dune Sea.
What is that?
It is, honestly, it's kind of refreshing having a character as the player character that doesn't necessarily know everything that the audience may know. Because this is going to trigger some people. There are people out there who have never watched any Star Wars. I'm going to trigger even more. There are people out there who have only ever seen the newest trilogy. There's probably people out there who have never watched any of the Star Wars movies and have only ever experienced Star Wars through The Acolyte. Yeah. Just deep breaths. I know. That being said, there's like the old school Star Wars movies are from a previous generation. So I do think that there's a lot of people out there who maybe genuinely also don't really know what a Sarlacc pit is. Like they just haven't seen those movies. Especially like younger people who are maybe in their teens right now who have just never experienced that. Don't get mad at her. My wife, Nikki, love of my life, has never watched anything Star Wars related. Never. She's never seen the movies. She's never wanted to see the movies. She never even watched those cartoons, the Clone Wars cartoons. And so for her, she would be like K-Vess in this instance. Like she'd be like, what is a Sarlacc? What Sarlacc pit? Oh, get a tooth real quick. She's probably thinking it's like a little dog or something. Like no idea. So I do find it refreshing to have a character who doesn't know what they're getting into when they agree to it, instead of having one of those characters that knows everything about everything all the time. You know, it's like I'm running this D&D campaign right now, and one of the difficulties we've had in a couple of instances is with what's known as metagaming. And metagaming is something that's very, very natural. Everybody does it to a certain extent. But basically what it is it's like, imagine you were playing a D&D campaign and then I told you, hey, you're going to go and fight Medusa, okay? You know, outside the game that you cannot look at Medusa, otherwise you will turn to stone. Like, you know that. But your character doesn't know that. So metagaming is when you use information your character doesn't have to make your character do things they wouldn't normally do, right? And you don't really want that to happen in role-playing games or anything like that, because it just breaks immersion, it breaks the encounter, it just doesn't really work. And so a lot of the time people will end up playing all sorts of video games or role-playing games with that metagaming, looking at things from a perspective that the character doesn't have. You know, they might play through a sequence like this and they know what a Sarlacc is or what Sarlacc pit is, but the character doesn't know. So to see it rewritten in a way where she doesn't know what she's getting into is a little bit refreshing, and I like that. I like that. It's just different, because having another hero who knows absolutely everything about everything is just kind of annoying, because it leaves all of the mystery out of it. Whereas now, going through this, I'm like, oh, this could be funny, seeing Kay's reaction to a gigantic sandworm with teeth.
Stay sharp, Kay. A pristine Sarlacc tooth is worth a lot on the black market.
You saying I'll have competition?
Dead Sarlaccs get scavenged fast. Anyone else looking for a tooth won't be coming alone.
I will say, I think this is a console build, because when I played the game on PC, I think it like some of the post-processing effects, some of the like sand effects and stuff, shadows and stuff were a little bit sharper. I feel like this was a console build that we're seeing here.
It's a dead Sarlacc. Who knows what's crawling around down there?
Or is it? Might not be.
We're going to index. Okay, that's one mouth down. You good, buddy?
Real talk. If this were a real thing and you could go into the mouth, like imagine this is like a tourist event.
Leathery.
Would you go into the mouth of a Sarlacc? If it were dead and it was like a tourist trap, would you do that? Literal tourist trap. I'm not so sure. Even if I knew it was dead, I don't think I would.
Bring a turret?
They did. They have yet to confirm that it works.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you keep an eye on that. I've got to find a way down to the bottom of this pit.
I'm just like, how valuable would that Sarlacc tooth have to be for me to go in there? Because even if they're like, oh no, it's dead. Like, are you certain? Are you 1,000% certain? Is that?
So many dead things in this dead thing.
I'm just waiting for it to move. Wait, the second mouth? How many? Okay, pause. How many mouths does a Sarlacc have? I'm gonna look up Sarlacc full body diagram. Okay, other people have Googled this too. Oh, dude. What? What? Oh, man. So upper stabilizing limbs senses movement in surrounding sands. Beak tongue swallows small prey whole. So there's the beak and all this. So it's got this. It goes down. Sight of Boba Fett's eventual escape. Spoilers. Sand trap. Is this the second mount? You know what? I don't know, and I'm okay with not knowing. I'm okay with that. Okay. Uh-oh, sticky.
What do you see? Phew, the tooth, finally. Sorry, droid. I need this more than you. ND?
Finally. What's your status?
Well, I found a tooth. Now I just need to get out of this pit. Why? You worried about me?
About you.
Here you
No. Hurry, please.
Okay. Through the crack. See those, like that smoke effect? When we played on PC, it looked a lot better than that. So I think this is a console build. They stole your tooth.
Hey, come back here. That's my tooth.
Wait.
All right, Nix. Go get him.
So just in case you're wondering, which might not be, the fast talk thing. So what this is, because I unlocked this when I played at Summer Game Fest. How they have this working is that all of the skills are tied to certain small challenges like this. But furthermore, they're tied to certain characters. So you might have one character who's like the charismatic smooth talker, and he will give you skills like fast talk if you complete this challenge, 5 kills or 5 melee defeats or whatever. And what this skill is, fast talk, I believe, if I remember correctly, this is the one where if somebody points a blaster at you, you can de-escalate and try to talk your way out of it. So you just start going, hey, I wasn't doing anything. It's totally fine. I was just walking over here, and that buys you time to walk up close to them and then take them out. So it's an interesting way of leveling where you're basically bonding with individual characters who teach you these new abilities and stuff like that by completing individual challenges that are somewhat related to the reward, which is, I think, a kind of interesting way of doing it that's a little bit different, instead of just like giving you an ability point to just level up whatever the hell you want to level up.
Someone nearby?
Getting jumpy.
All this for a tooth.
Yeah, this might be a Series S port. I'll tell you what, this might be a Series S port. Like, again, every other time I've seen the game and when I've played the game, it looks and runs a good bit more than this, or a good bit better than this. So I have to just think that it's like it's these secondary effects. It's like the smoke and fire and explosions that don't look very good. But when I've played the game in person, it looks way better than this and runs way smoother. So I think this is probably just an unfortunate Xbox port problem. And those frame rates too.
They're headed for us. Oh, got the tooth. I should get out of here.
Imagine killing people over a tooth.
You think you can take me? Come on. We're going loud. Oh!
The Jawas are getting impatient.
How can you tell?
They're trying to disassemble me.
Okay. I'm headed back to their boss now, all right? Just, try to stay in one piece. Here. Straight from the, second mouth.
Dude, it's Minions. It's straight up as Minions.
That's good, right?
Oh, yes. I love watching the wheels of commerce in motion.
Ah, Criff. It's hot, Nix.
New ability. So this is one of those things where like now the Jawas can help you and they can get you all these level ups. Looks like they can level up your stim.
Turret is active, Kay.
That's nifty.
We'll have more exclusive looks at Star Wars Outlaws for you throughout July. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Except for Black Myth Wukong. Frankly, we can't be trusted on that one. Sorry. I think it looks pretty good. We'll see. I mean, the Xbox port, I'm a little bit on, but we'll see. Maybe that was just like a Series S or something. We'll see what that's like. But yeah. I think it looks good. And I mean, I think generally I'm just more, I'm honestly just generally really optimistic towards Star Wars Outlaws, partially because I've actually played it. So I have reason to like point to and be like, hey, this is pretty impressive. But with some of this other stuff like Assassin's Creed Shadows or other games like that, I'm a little bit more suspicious of some of the stuff I've seen, or I'm just not that excited by it. But this at least I think looks pretty interesting. Yeah, Massive knows what they're doing. Massive is good. And I'll tell you what, I spoke to some of the guys that worked on Avatar who then moved on and started working on this. And let's just, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything, but let's just say they are much more excited. You can tell just by talking to them. They're much more excited about this project than they were for Avatar. It seems like a lot of people are very excited about this. So no, honestly, you should, the only time I think pre-ordering would ever possibly make sense for someone is if they want the statue and they're willing to pay for the statue regardless. So like the Mesmer statue for Shadow of the Air Tree, I pre-ordered the collector's edition so I could get that, because if you don't pre-order it, you don't get the statue unless you want to pay $1,000 on eBay for it. So I wanted the statue. I was willing to buy the statue separate. Happens to come with a game. That's, I view it basically as you are ordering the statue and it happens to come with the game. He took my thing. Red flag.